Yeah, that's from the Blues Brothers soundtrack. Wow, look what the cat dragged in. Joe Rogan is here from News Radio. He's our guest tonight. Haven't seen you in a while, Joe. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Joe, not only is from News Radio, but he's going to be at the Irvine Improv. What dates?
This week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I think Sunday, too.
And by the way, hey, homie.
Wednesday.
I don't know if I can look at you all night with that sock on your head.
It's cold weather out there, Holmes.
Take that thing off.
All right. All right, hold on. We'll get to Joe in just 1 second. I just want to relate something that was sort of funny. So I was in New York last night. I did Letterman. We did the radio show. The problem with us traveling is, especially when we go to the East Coast, is we always have to do the radio show from an affiliate or Westwood One or wherever we are, which means 1 to 3 a.m. And the bigger problem is we're always slated to fly out on a 7 or 8 a.m. flight, which means, back to the hotel about 4 a.m. and get picked up at about 6 a.m.
Right.
So it was no different today. I had a strange experience. They said, okay, the driver's down in the lobby. I went down the lobby at 6 a.m. this morning after going to bed at 4:30. Now, the way the hotel's positioned, you could exit out on the 44th or 45th. I naturally chose the wrong direction. And there's a guy in a town car. There's no other cars on the street because it's 6 a.m., and there's one black town car there. And I walk up to the window, and it's a guy. The thing about New York is there's nationalities. Like here we can separate the nationalities. That guy's Mexican, and that guy's Chinese. That guy's black. That guy's whatever he is. In New York, it's they put them all in a blender. And you get some guy who's like part Jamaican, and he's part Chinese, and he's part Jew, and he's got a little Arab in him, and you can't figure out his accent at all or his attitude. And I walked up to the guy, and I said, are you taking me to the airport? And he said, I could. And I said, are you my ride to the airport? Yes, get in. You pay cash. I said, no, I had a car that was sent, a town car. Yeah, okay. And it was like this weird scene, and I'm thinking, this has got to be the car because it's a town car that's parked right in front of the hotel. There's no other cars around, and my car's here. Well, little do I know my car's on 45th on the other side, parked in the exact same spot, but just one street over. And I'm having this bizarre conversation with this guy, and he's going, you pay cash to drive to the airport. And I think the guy's running a scam, meaning they sent the car, and he's going to make a few extra bucks by saying no one paid for it in advance. We go round and round and round, and eventually I just insult him and storm in the lobby, and then I run into the driver. But the story I really wanted to get to, which is a little more interesting, is off an hour's sleep and with 3 Bloody Marys in me.
Oh, for God's
the Kevin and Bean, the morning show on K-Rock here, decided it'd be a real funny idea if I call in from the airplane at 9 a.m. New York time and 6 a.m. L.A. time and talk to them from the Sky phone and talk about the Letterman experience. And wouldn't that be funny? But the problem is there's no phone in the first class section. You got to go to the back of the plane. Now, I have 2 thoughts on this. First off, when I went to the back of the plane, it wasn't a very crowded flight, so people were sleeping in the chairs that were folded out. I wanted to yell at him, hey, wake up. I'm flying first class. You shouldn't be sleeping.
Hey, did you actually ask people if there was a phone in first class?
Yes, and they said...
Because they usually have it in the console.
Yeah. There was just the jack there, but the phone was removed. They said the phone is in the back of the plane.
What airline were you on?
This was TWA. So apparently the cord wasn't long enough to make it to the front of the plane. They would have ran out before they got to L.A. So I go to the back of the plane. Now, there's a big difference for those of you who are used to flying coach between first class and coach, not only in the food and the movies and the chair size, but in the attitude of the people
huge difference
that deal with you, which is there's 4 or 5 foxy-looking chicks who are looking after 18 rich people in the front, as opposed to 1.5 chicks with thyroid condition and 185 surly people back there, and they are pissed off.
Tossing peanuts.
And when you enter their domain, they mistake you for one of theirs.
Yeah.
You understand? So now I go to the back of the plane, and I'm on the phone with the morning show, and I'm standing in by the head in the back of the plane, and naturally, no sooner do I get through on my 3rd try, live on the air, than does the fasten the seatbelt sign come flicking on. Now, the stewardess is standing back there, and she's yelling at me, sit down. Now, I'm live on the radio. I got a couple of highballs in me. I'm a little pumped up because of the Letterman experience. And I tell her, relax, Toots, let me finish my call. And she's leaning on me, and I'm on the air trying to deal with her. And eventually I say to her, listen, you're standing around without a seatbelt. How bad could it be? And that sends her over the edge, and she basically hangs up and throws me out of there. And I went back to the first class section, and I said to them, you know what you guys need? You need a badge. Like, you know when...
A first-class badge?
Well, yeah, when doctors or psychiatrists go into a prison, they have the credentials hanging so they're not mistaken for one of the prisoners and hosed down out in the yard. You need a badge, like a pass, that in case you have to go back there, you can show it, like a cop when he gets pulled over. You can show it to the stewardesses so they know you're okay.
No, they just need to be nice to everybody, and they need a smack.
But you got to understand,
you shouldn't be treated any better just because you got a couple extra bucks.
No, you should.
You really think
you
so?
really should.
No, you should get the big seat, and you should get the TV, and you should get the food, and it's cool and everything, but... You know, they should just be nice, and it's just, they're bullies. You know, they take advantage because they can. If you're in the first class, they think you have money and influence, you can get them fired. But if you're in the coach, you're just another slob.
Well, they treat you like dirt, understandably. But the problem is there's 2 of them, and there's 190 of you, and they don't have time to dilly-dally with the kosher meal. And it's just sit down, get out of the way, the lights on, put your seatbelt on. They just don't, it's like...
Well, what they need is a bouncer then.
They really
need to be nice, and they need one big dude who's just going to straighten out everything if you mess up.
They really need some guy like Bam Bam Bigelow from the Pro Wrestling Association, just standing back there in a black T-shirt that's too tight, tossing people out of the back of the plane. But
someone is going to enforce.
Joe, I really, and then we'll move on to news radio and stand-up comedy. I really have no problem with, I didn't pay, Letterman paid, obviously, but a first-class ticket to New York and back is probably going to run you $3,000.
Not on TWA.
Not on TWA.
No, it'll be cheap.
$2,200 or something.
Yeah.
No, probably not even that. Yeah.
Okay, but okay. Let's just say for the sake of argument, it's $2,000, and you can fly coach for $382.
Right.
For the extra $1,500, I think that buys a little courtesy. Yeah. That's fine with me.
That's the thing about first class, though. Nobody ever pays for it.
Right.
If anybody actually paid for it, you'd be pissed.
Yeah, I have a bunch of times.
Really?
Not an upgrade certificate.
No, I've paid for it.
Oh.
Just flat out?
Yeah, you're feeling that TV money. You just say, what the hell, and you throw it out.
Now, where
nice to meet you,
I have. I've paid a bunch of times.
Where'd you fly?
To New York, to Boston. You know, especially New York. I always fly first class.
Now, what is the difference? Because
I've never sleep. You know, that's
no, I mean money-wise. I mean,
we've never paid for first. We've done upgrades.
It's at least $2,200. But I always go American. You get these big leather chairs. You always got to get the DC-10. That's the key. Don't get a 757 or anything little. Get a big plane, because if you get a big plane, you get a big seat.
Right.
Because they have 3 aisles. You know, they have 3 rows of them, and you get big, juicy seats. And to me, it's worth it. You know, I mean, do you notice if you have, minus $1,000 in your account or plus 1,000, if you've got some money packed away, you don't really notice it. So, but I do notice if I have a crappy time in New York because my back hurts, because I tried to sleep on an armrest.
Wait till you have kids, Joe.
Joe, you feel
wait till you have kids.
You really like yourself, Joe. I appreciate
I don't mind
that.
It, bro.
Drew and I don't like ourselves enough for that. Well, I look at it the same as the full serve at the gas station, which is, when it's all said and done, it's another $4 or $5, but it's still 60 cents a gallon. Seems like too much to me. I'm getting out of the car.
I look at it like I'm going to be dead someday. Whatever.
Do you go full service at the gas station?
Oh, always.
Oh, man.
No, dude, I'm just kidding. I don't ever let anybody pump my gas. It's like valet parking. I freak out. I don't like it. I've had my car scratched accidentally by somebody who didn't care. So.
Joe dropping an extra $2,000 out of his own pocket.
I almost always do it, unless I'm flying somewhere that's only like a couple hours.
Yeah, we got to get him on the 777. That'll bring him on over to United.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway.
Oh,
all right.
Plane.
Drew, let's not.
It's a new plane. It's a new plane.
This is turning into a travel show.
It's all right, dude.
Please. News radio. News radio was on tonight, by the way.
Yes, it was.
NBC,
I believe.
And what is it? In its third season? Third and a half?
Fifth season.
Fifth season.
Fifth actual season. It's really 4.5 because the first one was a mid-season.
Right. I knew there was something like that going on.
We are at 93 episodes.
It started off slow, but it had a real steady build.
Started off slow and turned into a nice lag. No, man, I did this interview the other day. It was actually really funny. This guy said, so, when you started out on news radio, did you really think it was going to be the big hit that it is? I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, it's a fun show and it's really funny, but we're like number 50. We've never been any higher than number 20. We've moved 9
But it's interesting.
times.
There are a lot of shows out there that don't have huge numbers, that are really an important part of the lexicon of the American consciousness. I mean, this is one of them.
Whoa, true.
That's nice for you to say that. I don't know necessarily if it's true. I think it's a great show. I enjoy being on it. I appreciate it, and I'm really very thankful and very grateful that I'm on a show that I respect and I think is very funny. But it's moved around so many times, and we've been so close to cancellation like almost every year.
Right.
Almost except the first year. That was the only year we knew we were coming back. We've never known until like a couple weeks before we came back.
That's familiar.
Or a couple weeks before.
And MTV, they don't tell you until a couple weeks after you've been back, really. You're just going on faith.
Yeah, you go, you get the contract. No
well,
problem.
I heard that it was indeed the case that they didn't make the decision until the day before.
Wow.
That's this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I last talked to you guys, you said it wasn't coming back. You weren't going to do the MTV show.
When
last I talked to you.
Don't listen to us.
Wow.
All right, anyway, Joe Rogan is here from News Radio. He'll be in the Irvine Improv Wednesday through Sunday.
I believe
coming
Sunday.
up at
I'm definitely through Saturday. I'm not sure. I got to check.
See him on Friday. Let's not chance this.
Right.
Robert.
Yes.
You're 17.
Yep.
What's going on?
And I think that my penis may be too big.
For what?
Well, it's 6 1/4 inches around and 7 inches tall, or long, or whatever you want to call it. And
it's funny when he says tall. It's like I'm picturing, you know, when your grandpa would measure you in the door jamb of the house, and they put a little mark. Yeah, that's Robert's penis.
You said it's
13.
6 1/4 inches around.
yeah.
Yeah, but he means he means like when you take a cloth measurer and wrap it around, like your wrist is 8 inches, or
so give us 6.5, Mr. Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is 6.5. What's in between my fingers right now?
So it's basically around like so.
Like circumference around.
The circumference would be this.
Compare it to something we could think about, like some sort of like a banana, bigger than a banana.
Wait a minute, that doesn't. Those dimensions do not seem.
No. I mean, but if you look at a banana and you look at a hard-on that happens to be yours, hopefully, you know,
probably a little bit bigger than a banana, I guess.
Let's say a doorknob.
Right. Exactly.
As big as a doorknob?
Well, I don't know. Measure a doorknob.
Well, dude, come on.
Well, no, wait a minute. But there's something about the proportion. I mean, really, we're talking about this.
Yeah, okay. Robert, it's maybe a little girthier and maybe a little bit longer than
the
most.
Average okay sign.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. And listen, Rob, what is it about that's disturbing you now? Something must have happened.
Well,
somebody's complaining.
The thing is that my girlfriend that I'm currently with, we haven't had sex yet.
Why?
Why? Because we just haven't.
All right, that's enough.
You just killed him?
I just didn't like his attitude.
He did have an attitude, and that's not that big. I'm sorry. If it's the okay sign, that's a healthy, but that's certainly not too big.
Right.
What is he dreaming about? 7 inches long?
So I thought he was going to say that his girlfriend was having pain, which was then he deduced that it was the size issue.
Give him a little reprieve, Robert.
Yes.
Hey, drop the attitude. I know you got a big dick, but you're only 17.
Sorry, Adam.
All right.
Dude, that's not that big.
Well, well, from what I've gained from other people telling me.
Well, who other people?
Let's assume it isn't. Why is it disturbing to you?
Well, it's disturbing to me because me and my girlfriend haven't had sex yet, but she's like, you know, how the hell am I gonna get that thing up in there?
Dude, you just called because you want to talk about your dick, didn't you?
What? No.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, she's fine. She's gonna be fine. Her.
It's not a baby, bro. You ever see the size of a baby's head?
It's called a birth canal.
Right.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm just like a swizzle stick in that big tumbler. You can work that into the act.
Hanging the sides, baby.
All right, Robert, maybe she doesn't want to have sex. Maybe she's a virgin. Maybe she's worried.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to get into it.
But you can work around it.
Well, or hold back and wait till she's ready. We didn't ask how old she was. I mean, she's anxious,
about it.
and he just wants to talk about it.
Daniel.
Yeah. First off, I'd like to thank Dr. Drew. I was listening the other night, and you mentioned this hotline number for the morning after pill.
Oh, yeah.
Just so happened that earlier that day I was with my girlfriend and the condom broke.
Spectacular. 1-888, not, N-O-T, number 2, late, L-A-T-E. 1-888, not too late.
Wait a minute. Didn't we agree that the E at the end was too much?
Yes.
So why do you put it on there?
All right, not too lat.
Let's just say late and just go L-A-T. Okay.
Is that what happens if you dial the extra number? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah. I see. Daniel.
Okay. Yeah, well, that pretty much saved my life. But my problem is the my girlfriend that I'm with right now, we're getting engaged a little bit later this year and planning on getting married not too long after that.
You're 18.
And well, I'm turning 19 in like 2 weeks.
You're 19.
Yeah. And
how old is she?
She's 19. She's going to be 20 in a couple months.
She's 19.
Yeah.
But she will be 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
important when that follows.
She's perfect for me. I'm perfect for her.
Except you're both teenagers.
Yeah, and it's just, she was my first sexual experience. I'm not hers. I'm her fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah, I'm the fourth guy she's been with. And it's really disturbing to me to the part where, like, if I think about it, I get physically ill and I seriously, like, throw up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny. It's funny how to us 4's a coup, right?
That's excellent.
I mean, you're like a virgin. To him, she's like some French whore that's wandering the streets, running from Jack the Ripper. 4, I don't even count 4.
Yeah, if you're worried about 4, dude, marriage, you should really hold off on that.
Yeah.
Get a little more miles under the belt.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, am I going to be able to get over this eventually?
Oh, yeah. I was like that when I was a kid.
Yeah, everybody
was like 18
is.
Or 19.
But the point is you were a kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Here's the thing. When you're 18, 19 years old, hell, when you're 22, hell, when you're 26, as a male, there's a lot of juices flowing in you that somehow get squirted out of your ass and never return around 30. But you have a lot of energy. And it's that old boyfriend and who was with you before I was, and it's all
bizarre, jealous energy.
No, I when he said physically sick, I know what he's talking
absolutely,
about.
Yeah,
now, you walk in, someone's on top of your wife. You're like, hey, you're blocking the set.
Dude,
move over.
What are you doing here? Yeah, it's funny. I had this conversation with my girlfriend because I set my ex-girlfriend up with my buddy. With a good friend of mine, and she was like, looking for a dude, and he was looking for a chick, and I made the hookup, and my current girlfriend was like, that's not going to bother you? And I'm like, not at all. Like,
but that is the point.
But it would have.
When I was 18, I would have never been able to do it.
Someday we're going to that is not a psychological progression. That is a biological progression. Something is burned out of your system.
Maybe it's just maturity. Is it just understanding things?
I think it is some waning effect testosterone with time. And,
I really doubt that. I really honestly think it's an objective view of things. But it's more experience.
But why does it
and a better
happen
view.
to everybody, across the board?
I don't think it does. I think a lot of people still can't handle it. There's a lot of monkeys out there that really can't handle it. They like to think that people that they dated are property. That anybody they dated in the past,
but you know what? There's
should not
mostly
be touched.
people that stop and get married at 19. But they stop and get married at 19. Right, and that's the argument against it. Is that is where he's going to stay. Daniel's going to keep getting nauseated every time he thinks.
He'll break up with her. He's just saying that now. When I was 19, I wanted to marry my girlfriend too.
Listen, four's nothing. And let me say this too, and I'm going to bolster Drew's argument here, which is you can get 19-year-olds to charge at oncoming cannons. Right. You really can. I mean, that's why these guys go off to war. But when you're 34, you go F that.
Right.
I'm going to Canada and start growing some weed and start a band. I'm not going over there.
It's true.
And it's that same.
Do you really think that's biological though?
Yeah, I do. I do.
I
think
tend
to
disagree. I think I have the same testosterone surges that I had when I was 18. It's
no one says you're any less a man.
No, I'm 31, but I mean, I think I understand it.
I think though you start feeling the effects of aging in your late 30s.
But do you work out?
And yeah, I do regularly.
Really?
But you experience
I don't want to turn this into some jackfest,
but you experience it as a steady slope.
Yeah.
It's not as though, I'm maturing and things are changing.
But you honestly think it's a biological thing that lets you let things slide,
I think that if the biology were operating the way it was when I was 20, I'd still be overcome by some of this stuff. Not all of it. Not as bad. I agree with you.
I honestly think I was just dumb when I was 18 or 19, insecure, dumb, and I think I would have freaked.
I mean, and listen, it's not one or the other because obviously there may be a biology at work, and you have experience. And it has nothing to do with producing testosterone or anything. It's just there's a thing that gets you into more fights when you're 19 than it does at 31.
Oh, I gotta think that's stupidity.
And there's a thing
I gotta think that's just stupidity. I really do.
How do you explain going off to war? I mean, this is something.
That's stupidity too. I really think that's what it is.
All right, so all 19-year-olds are stupid, and then all 30-year-olds are smart.
When I was 19, I was stupid. When I wasn't stupid, my mind probably could have figured things out just as good as it can now. In theory.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're not a stupid guy.
No, but you don't have experience when you're 19, and so you're more prone to go with emotional reaction to things, I think.
There's
All right.
So I think
listen,
this is
there's both, but I'm telling you, when you want to throw up, that feels like a biology.
Well, yeah, but that's emotions that are making you
when you want to kill, when you want to kill, that feels like a biology.
Well, how do you
too.
explain road rage when you're in your 40s? You know, people want to kill every day.
Well, that's true, but I wanted to kill more at 19.
Really?
Kathy.
Hi.
I did. You're 28.
Yeah, I'm staying up late to respond to something you said in last night's show. I found a lot of your comments before Adam. Hi, everybody else on the show. But Adam, I found you offensive, obviously, as many women have, I'm sure.
Wow,
but
that's a blanket
statement. I have
statement.
to respond to a comment. You were talking to a caller that was talking about she had been raped.
Right.
You're talking about if she had become pregnant, then she'd be running around with a child that had the genes of a rapist. And
right.
That was really offensive to me since I'm an adoptee and my birth mother was raped, and I'm functioning really well. And
I was thinking of a guy, really. I was thinking if she gave birth to a boy. I don't really...
That's sexist.
Well, no, it's not. What I'm saying is if you have if someone gets pregnant from a guy who probably has a history of alcoholism and he's physically abusive, he raped somebody, that's how he put his seed inside of her. If she gives birth to a female, I don't tend to think she's going to be a rapist because females don't tend to rape. And if they do, it's certainly underreported. But if she gave birth to a male, I think his likelihood of becoming like daddy, or at least sharing some of that biology, is much greater than it would be if it was Joe or Drew or myself.
Well, hasn't it been proven that certain genetic imprints are passed on, like memories and racism and a lot of things? There's a thing called memes. Isn't that what it's called? There's a certain theory very recently that certain types of racism and things like that are genetically they're imprinted in your code.
I understand.
That hasn't been proven yet.
No, it hasn't been proven.
Joe's
It's
going
a very
to biology
strong theory.
now.
But I understand that for every human behavior, there are people arguing in favor of pure biology and people are arguing in favor of pure environment.
And it's a mixture.
But Kathy,
sure.
but here's 2 points I would make. One is that it's fascinating to me that people that feel strongly enough to call our show always have a very personal cross to bear with the things that we talk about here, and it's because you specifically feel ashamed or less worthwhile by what Adam said. And I don't think that was his intention to make people who are adopted. In fact, we are huge believers in adoption, and in fact, your mother should be knighted, should get medals for going so far as to preserve your life, even in the face of a rape. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Drew, I was singling Kathy out when I said that. I want to correct you.
I hear Drew always mentioning, he's a big advocate for adoption. In fact, I don't believe in the case of rape that is the best option. I would advocate for abortion.
Even though you were the product of that?
Certainly, I've had an abortion myself.
But before you had the abortion...
What does that have to do with rape?
Were you ever raped yourself?
No, I was never raped myself, no.
Well, that doesn't coincide, right?
Before you had the abortion, did you feel that way?
No, actually, no.
It's interesting.
No.
Kathy, you need to...
very much pro-life,
Kathy,
as I get older and...
Kathy, you need to figure out what principles you're going to live by and live by them, I think.
Yeah, right?
And not just live by the whims of your own emotional environment, the circumstances in which you find yourself. I mean, if you were against abortion, you chose to have an abortion, that's okay. I mean, we live in a country where you can choose to do that, and,
All right, so I'm still not quite sure what I said. But,
I'm a firm believer in genetics, and I mean, the way people's behavior is. I mean, I think so much of it is your character and how you think, but so much of it is like what you've got flowing in your veins. And a rapist is going to give birth to creepy kids.
We don't know that, but Adam was...
I believe it.
I think
I'm with you, dude.
Adam was just throwing that into the mix that night.
I know,
it wasn't a strong opinion.
I think it's a good toss.
It ain't a guarantee, but it certainly helps.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying, and I'm playing the odds. All right, Joe Rogan is here from News Radio. What are the consequences of anal sex? All right, well, we'll speak to 15-year-old James, who's already into the booty.
James at 15.
You have 5 seconds. Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline.
Exclusively on Tucson's New Rock. 92.1 KFMA.
Hi, this is Andy Dick from News Radio, and you're listening to Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Oh, yes, you is. It must be a joy to go to work every day with Andy Dick. We see him once a year. It's way too much.
He did my pilot with me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
He's a great guy, but it's like...
what you see is what you get. That's the scariest thing about it. It's not an act.
Oh, no.
No. I
make him read the DSM-4 every time he comes in here.
What is the DSM-4?
It's the Diagnostic Manual of Psychiatric Illness.
Yeah.
And, I show him.
Look up Andy's condition.
Oh, but don't change him. He won't be funny anymore.
That's what I said.
He will. Oh,
you'll steal
crazy.
his thunder.
He'll totally take his plug out.
Believe me.
Do not diagnose him. I forbid it.
Drugs too, though.
He's not. He's not. He's been clean all year.
He's better. That's right.
Well, you know why? Because he can concentrate, and he's a lot more fun to be around. But he's a very, very funny guy to work with.
Jesus.
Tonight's episode, guys, was the one where Andy became smart.
Yeah,
it was scary.
Yeah,
it was really scary.
I gave him the smart drink.
He was drinking the smart drink. Yeah. You know the thing that amazes me most about Andy every time we hang out with him, and we see him quite a bit actually. That someone can hand him a script, he can go home and memorize it and show up the next day and get his lines out. I wonder how he doesn't have his...
Very good job.
I know, but
you know what? Right, what's going on right now is what he lives for. We're talking about him.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Andy lives for.
Fine.
Andy's very happy right now. Hi, Andy. But if you're listening,
Joe, let me ask you something
Criteria for a hypomanic episode?
That's him. Now, you see there's about 14...
Elevated, expensive, or irritable. That's pretty broad.
Yeah, but that's Andy.
Persistently elevated, expensive.
Yeah.
Period of mood disturbance. 3 or more of the following symptoms.
Yep.
Inflated self-esteem or grandiosity. Grandiosity or grandiosity?
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Joe. There's only 14 questions. He said yes to 16. That's part of his grandiosity.
You know what? He actually talked to me about this. It's actually true. He told me that you had diagnosed him. Now I remember. It was just last week. He told me you diagnosed him as being sick. And I asked him what he thought about it. He goes, he's probably right. I
actually didn't diagnose him. I said, Andy, read this. And I said, what do you think? And he goes, it's me. It's me. Explains everything. I can't believe it. Then he socked somebody in his band.
But you know what? He loves it. You know, you find something else and tell him it's him, and he'll love that, too. Talk about him.
Yes.
He loves it.
Oh, yes. All right. Joe Rogan is here from the Andy Dick Show. Otherwise known as News Radio. It's
Dave Foley is doing cartwheels right now. He's freaking out at home. Calling it the Andy Dick Show. Don't do that. There's just sensitive egos out there.
Did we have Dave on this year on the TV show? Or was that last year?
No, I think it was last year. I think.
I can't.
He was really funny though. I like Dave Foley.
Stephen Root, Vicki Lewis, John Lovitz. Did I forget somebody? Andy Dick, me.
Well, let's not get into the crew.
Well,
you can also find Joe at the Irvine Improv Wednesday through Saturday, maybe Sunday. We'll see how it goes.
This week.
All right.
Come on down.
James, I've never been to the Irvine Improv.
It's a fun club. It's a good club.
James?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on there?
I'm just kicking it, listening to y'all.
You're 15?
Yeah.
All right.
What's up?
Huh?
James.
Yeah, man, I heard you this morning on the thing, how you talked to that stewardess.
Well, I wasn't too rude to her, was I?
Nah. You was like, you got your feet good on. Anyway.
Thanks for that, James.
Oh, man, I didn't mean to clown you like that.
It's always
clown you.
You know, it's always funny when our listeners, once in a while they start into a compliment or something.
They tell you what you did?
They'll go, man, you were really funny on Letterman when you said, oh.
They just give up.
Whatever. Anyway, and you're sitting there going, oh, maybe this is going to be funny. And then you're going, nah, couldn't work. Yeah, I was a little bit drunk and the stewardess wanted me to sit down, but no one else can do that.
James, you don't sound 15. Are you really 15?
Yeah, 15.
All right, what's the question?
Now I was wondering what are the consequences of anal sex.
Consequences in what sense?
Your ass is going to hurt.
Oh, no, not me. I was just wondering.
You mean on a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, and who are the consequences for? You and your penis or her and her ass?
Her and her ass.
Why do you want to go in there?
No, I'm not planning on. I just like sometime me and my homies, we be sitting around.
Well, it's the most efficient way.
James, don't take this the wrong way, but you sound too black. I almost don't believe you. You know what I mean? Like some guys sound a little black, and I believe them, but you sound too black.
James is kicking it live.
I'm from Compton.
Yeah, but if you were too black and you're pretending to be black, you'd say you're from Compton. Where do you live? Do you live in an apartment, a flat, or a crib?
Hey, James.
Yeah.
The deal is that's the most effective way to transmit a sexually transmitted disease to someone, particularly bloodborne disorders like HIV, that kind of thing, all right?
All right.
If somebody should transmit the wart virus, which is terribly common right now, a lot of people have warts. Some of them don't even know they have it. If you transmit the warts to that area, the anal area, it can substantially increase the risk of anal cancer. That of a recent study, all the cases of anal cancer that were recorded, they studied about 100 cases, they all had the wart virus. So it seems to be a significant predisposing factor for that. It can obviously tear the area, cause hemorrhoids, cause bleeding, cause inflammation. I mean, it's not what, I mean, you know, it's not, wasn't designed for that activity particularly.
No.
So there you go.
No. Either you're in or
James
you're...
seems like a nice guy. You take off after him.
I didn't take off after him. It just sounded like one of the Cosby kids or something.
You sound too white.
Oh, shut up, Drew. You know you worship the white man. Please.
White man.
Please.
Wow. This is getting interesting.
Drew's really Aryan. Who's more Aryan? Look at me. I'm blacker than you are. Look at me with the nappy hair.
With the hat you are.
Yeah, and the ski hat on. Come on. I'm down. I'm wearing a pair of sweatpants. Look at me.
One of the Beastie Boys.
They're not Fila, but I'm still down. Lynn.
All right, Ice.
You're 29.
Yeah, 27.
Oh, I mean, sorry, 27.
That's okay. First of all, Drew, Sunday's show was really great.
Thank you. That was without Adam.
That was the news.
Yes. And I didn't get to hear it till last night, but it was really good.
Thank you.
And it's funny that you were just talking to Kathy about that men don't get raped. Because my question is, about a year ago, a male friend of mine was raped by a woman, and he doesn't know that I know about it. And I'm wondering if I should talk to him about it or let him know that I know.
And he wants to get his $80 back?
Tell us how it came about. What happened?
We're teachers, and one of his students' mothers kept coming to him with, supposedly out of concern for her kid, and talking to him alone in his room and stuff, and came over to his house one day and cornered him in his house and was fondling him and stuff.
With a weapon?
No, but he was just, he's kind of codependent.
Let me tell you something. He must teach home ec, this guy, right?
No.
He doesn't teach shop. No shop teacher put up with this.
No, he's just really, really nice, and he didn't want to physically assault her. And she also said that she would say that it was his fault.
Yeah,
and people would tend not to believe him.
So what did she do? Did she perform oral sex on him?
No, I think she just pushed him against the wall and was fondling him.
Right, but
I'm not sure.
You see, here's the catch-22 to the female versus male rape, which is the guy has to get an erection in order to pull off being raped. It's weird, but you need to get a boner so you can get victimized.
Right.
And normally...
woman to man. Man to man.
Right. When you're frightened and someone's, physically assaulting you, that's the last place you're going to have an erection. So if you have an erection, there's some culpability there.
Sexual assault, but it's not rape.
Well, yeah.
Well, what is the difference,
I mean,
really?
he had to get an erection, right?
Was he victimized? Is he shy and scared and stays at home with
and
blinds drawn?
He was just trying to help her out, and she got really obsessed with him and was stalking him and following him to other states and
following him to other states.
Oh boy!
But
is she married?
Yes.
Is he gay?
No, he's married also.
Oh man!
And
hold on, this ain't a bad angle. I just thought about something. If I get married and I cheat on my wife, I'm just going to shout rape.
Yeah.
I'll cry rape. It'll be good.
Have her keep coming around, stalking.
Yeah, she one of the listeners came over the house. Before I knew it, the penis was out. I couldn't help it.
That's a bad sign, dude. If you get married and you're already looking for a way out of it, you're already looking for an angle.
I'm working angles, yeah. Oh man, I was on on the flight today. There were two really hot-looking models. Two great-looking blonde models going from New York back to L.A., and I was looking at them the whole time, pretending I was looking out the window and everything. And at the end of the end of the flight, the better looking, and it was a real coin toss of the two blonde 6-foot models who were coming out to L.A. for some catalog shoot, came up to me and said, "I have a really bizarre question. I have a friend of mine. I just think you guys you'd be perfect for her, and she's single, and I know it sounds weird, but maybe you guys would like to go out?" And I said, "What does she do?" And if she said transmission mechanic, I was out. But naturally, what'd she do for a living?
Wow.
She's a model. And I said, "Oh well."
She's one of those hefty models, dude. She's like M.
Yeah.
One of those size 18. I'm beautiful, even though I'm big. Men love women with curves.
She models.
They don't like scrawny women.
She models the plus size. gauchos. But I said, no.
Does that freak you out?
Oh, I said, I got a girlfriend, but I got to go home and kill her, and then I'll get back to you. Yeah.
So what happened?
No, I didn't do anything.
Oh, good man.
Oh, but
Shows
Jesus.
character.
Oh.
Shows character.
I know. I'll tell
man.
you. All right, we're going to take a break. I'm going to tell Joe and Drew what really happened. And then we're
going to read M Magazine.
We'll be back.
Loveline. Be right back in a minute.
Hey, this is Max. This is John. And this is Tony from Eve 6. You're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Trying to guess the band. I would have been stumped by that one. All right, Joe Rogan is here from News Radio. That is Tuesday nights. Tonight, NBC, and I think I saw it at 8:30 tonight.
8:30, yes.
Yes,
for now.
It is moved around, but thankfully people follow it. Also, you can find Joe doing a stand-up at the Irvine Improv, which is, I believe they moved that into Irvine because there was some confusion. And that'll be on Wednesday through probably Sunday. Maybe Saturday.
I think it's Sunday. I'm not sure.
Get your tickets and get in there early, and don't get burned.
In the meantime, we were talking to Lynn.
That's right.
All right. And I'm not sure we ever got to your question, Lynn.
No.
Which was? Yeah.
My question is, should I tell him that I know, and the person that told me, told a lot of people.
All right, hold on a second. Drew, just stop doing such horrible radio. You got to reset the thing.
Lynn had a male friend who was stalked and sexually assaulted. He's a teacher, and this parent of one of the children came in under the guise of being concerned about the child and sexually assaulted him.
Right.
And has then continued to stalk him.
Right. Which we found sort of was sad but comical at the same time.
Yeah, but bizarre that he hasn't told many people about it if he's really being stalked.
Well, he did a little bit. I mean, I think that's part of the reason that I know about it is because I work with him, and I got phone calls from this woman, and I think she's kind of given up on him and gone on to something else.
Oh, good.
Meanwhile, she's married, right?
Yeah.
And she's married and has a kid at the school, obviously.
And he's married, too.
Wow. Oh, that's your mama. Oh, isn't that nice? Yeah. Forget about open house. It's open blouse, sailor. And you're sitting there going, oh, for Christ's sake. Mom, I'm embarrassed. I was embarrassed my folks would just pick me up in front of the school, much less raping faculty.
She did come on to him in front of the kid once, as far as I...
Oh, please.
Nice woman.
Yeah, listen, but Lynn... I'll tell you, is angry as you are at her and as pathetic as it is, understand, take solace in the fact that she was raped and something horrible was done to her when she was a kid.
Right.
Believe me, this is not, she would not act this way if some atrocity wasn't performed on her.
So again, the question was, should you let him know that you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Talk about it with him. He needs support.
Where's his wife, by the way? He said he was married.
Yeah, I know I think they went to counseling or something, but I heard this all through a mutual friend, if you want to call her that. But
okay,
this is a guy, a close coworker. You need to find out what's really up.
On the other hand, like Joe's relationship with Andy Dick, once you realize they're just a little bit south of the pole, don't you think maybe she ought to just steer clear of this guy?
Let it go.
Well, that's one way of managing it. But
I mean, you don't see him going on, weekends with Andy and the boys.
The path of least resistance.
But she said she's a friend, a close person, coworker.
Well, if he's that close, he would have told you. He would have confided in you.
There's a good point.
But her instinct is to get involved, and it may not be a good one, but. If you need that to maintain the relationship.
I would never bring... I mean, if he's talking about other people or talking to other people about it but not talking to you, that probably means he doesn't want to talk to you about it. I mean, it sounds like he's talking about it.
I'm with Joe and Drew and Joe, and we all know that this guy's got a little something up here, right?
A real man would say, get out of here.
Erica.
Creepy broad. Touching me.
Yeah. See, here's the deal. A real man should only be able to be raped by at least 2 or more guys.
One guy can do it, dude.
But now, wait a minute. You guys are assuming...
proper skills.
By the way, you're assuming he couldn't assert himself. Maybe the real reality was he went right on ahead with this and then claimed foul. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Allah, your theory...
that's my plan. My plan. I was raped. She's a 5'3" Asian woman, Adam. I tell you, she karate shot me.
You just got to get the right one, dude. You don't think like that.
Erica.
Hi. First, to say that Joe, I saw you on that show on Showtime with Dom Herrera.
Ah, Full Frontal Comedy.
Yes, that was the best show, and you were so hot. That was so wonderful.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say that. And then
cool.
My problem is...
And Dom's not hot?
No, I don't go for that kind of guy. The problem is that I orgasm extremely fast.
Good girl. Thumbs up. 5 stars.
Like, too fast.
There's no problems there.
No. You don't.
It's every guy's dream.
So can you recoup and have another?
No, I can't. Like, he's tried. I mean, he's, like, held me down.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
And how old is your boyfriend?
28.
Oh, God.
Ooh. These are...
Is your first boyfriend?
Yeah, I guess under the guise of boyfriend.
Is he good? Well, you don't really know, right?
Hold on a second. I smell some gambling here.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You want to gamble a little?
It's going to be pretty vague. It's not going to be a clear one.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. All right, you can gamble because I'll take that position.
Okay. Joe, you got any money? You got a dollar?
Yeah, I got a couple bucks.
Where's my wallet? Drew, come on, put a buck in for me. Hey, Mr. I don't pump my own gas. Why don't you throw a buck in for me, Joe? Can you do that? Oh, look at him. Look at him. He carries his money like a man, balled up and shoved in his underpants. No wallet for Joe. God bless you. $2 is, we just need 3. All right, here's how the game goes. We'll see if we can get through this quickly.
Okay.
We gamble on her past. What created her? What environment did she grow up in? Okay. Now, she's 18. She's dating a guy who's 28. And she has really fast orgasms. Now, she sounds sort of all right, but then she gave a little hint when she said my first boyfriend or she dated a family member or something. And she's dating a guy 10 years older. She's got a real quick orgasm thing. I am going with just sexual abuse.
I'm going with single-family household. I'm going with raised by the mother. Father's not around.
Yeah, I'm getting more of that kind of vibe.
All right.
But let me come up with something.
So is the other 70% of the country,
I think she sounds healthy, dude.
But
sounds like a good kid.
28-year-old...
now that's creepy, but you know what? A lot of girls, when they're young, even though, it sounds creepy, they're into it.
I'm going to take a variation
guys
of that.
are into it.
Alcoholic dad left when she was about 5.
Alcoholic dad split it at 5. Yeah. Joe, you're just saying...
I went with a blanket single-family household raised by the mother. I'm just going with divorce.
When did dad leave?
Oh, young. Yeah,
young.
He left like 6.
But no physical abuse, no sexual abuse, no drug abuse.
As of right now,
pick an age. I picked 5.
It's a big gamble.
You picked before 5.
I picked 7.
I
picked 7.
Okay,
yeah, it's a big gamble because you know what? We got to hear more. And she did say that one weird thing. What you mean, first boyfriend?
Right.
She had that one weird thing about it.
Yeah, someone got to her. Erica?
No one got to me.
Come on.
Yes.
Don't make me come over there and get to you.
Your mom and dad are divorced?
No, my parents actually divorced when I was 3, and my mom left him.
Because?
He was a golfer, and she was paying for him to, go all of golfing.
Good man, he kept it up for 3 years. God bless him.
And golfer.
Golfer.
Well, that's abuse.
He wasn't an alcoholic?
I don't know.
Well,
maybe that's just what she
What do you think?
Drinking, golfing.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know him at all. I mean, he's like this obscure guy.
Well, none of us really jumped on it, although we kind of did in our own way, which is, she's looking for a sort of daddy figure. That's why she's with the 28-year-old.
I said 5 left before 5.
You got it, dude.
You said before 5.
7.
Oh, big deal.
You have more experience than this. I would have called 3 if I was...
All right, let's get it. When did you lose your virginity?
When I was 17.
Who done it? Boyfriend?
No, it was actually a stranger. I talked to him on America Online and got me to meet him in this parking lot at like 1 in the morning.
Yeah, see, okay. Her dad's an alcoholic. Erica, you have a little momentum with alcohol yourself, huh?
No, I hate alcohol. I can't stand
it. Do you use any other drugs?
No, I hate it all. I hate cigarettes. I hate everything.
All right, let's not overdo it, Erica.
You're just a good kid.
No, you were raped, though, right?
No.
You met the guy in the parking lot?
You liked him?
At 1 a.m.?
Really cute.
He was cute, and so you guys just did it?
That's how you lost your virginity?
Well, why do you guys say I'm with her? I think she just was an adventurous girl, and she met a guy.
Behavior. That's addict behavior, I'm telling you. There's no such thing.
Maybe she's just a gambler.
There is no such thing as just an adventuresome girl.
Really?
I know that's a fantasy, an American myth, but there is no such thing.
I hate to believe that's true, that she couldn't just have taken a chance. Well, you talked to him on the phone for a bunch of times?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it wasn't really that much of a gamble. You liked his personality, you liked the way he talked. You guys scanned pictures and sent them to each other?
No, I had no idea what he looked like.
Oh, God.
The Portland State University basketball team, so I could have gone to PSU and,
Right, looked in the website or something?
Yeah.
And so where'd you sleep with the guy?
In his car.
In his car?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That was the first time I'd done anything with a guy, even kissed. I mean, it was I was so tired of being a virgin, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go meet this guy.
Wow. All right, so ever have any stepdads?
Yeah.
Yeah? What kind of guys were they?
My dad is a functioning alcoholic.
There's the alcohol.
There's the alcohol.
But she's got it, too. I'm telling you.
Drew's like one of these psychics, you know. Sometimes he can't place the name, but he knows it's out. It's floating around out there.
I see the color blue. Blue. What's the number 3 have to do with you?
Hey, you know what's weird about psychics? They know a little something, but never too much. You know, they go, your ex-husband Ken, yes, I'm speaking. He's communicating with me. Oh, I can't make yes, he's saying
khakis.
Something about...
Did he die with khakis on?
Anyway, Eric, that kind of extraordinary risk-taking behavior, that's addict behavior.
All right, now here's the real question. What about your alcoholic stepdad?
What about him?
When did he come into the picture?
When I was 5.
Okay, and what did he do to you?
He's just a-hole.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm telling you I'm going to get this $3 if we got to ride the show into the ground. My personal gambling vendetta has killed all the listeners, but I don't care. All right, we're going to take a break. Joe Rogan is here. We're pretty close to settling this bet up, but she went from everything was fine to the plot is thickening.
There are no adventuresome young ladies like the men wish there were.
Don't burst Joe's bubble. He's in TV. He'll freak on you, man. Throw some of that taekwondo at you. All right, we'll be back.
Loveline. 92.1 KFMA.
This is Charles Fleischer. No, this is Charles Fleischer. This is Charles Fleischer. This is Charles Fleischer, and you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. No, gale, I love those fellows. Or take my daughter command out and numberindolo.
Someone must have done something horrible to that Charles.
He is so draining.
But he's so smart.
You know what?
Socially he's retarded. What is smart and what
I
is
wanted
not?
to kill him before I met him, but after spending 2 hours with him, I thought, I really liked him.
Yeah.
Really?
It was weird. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that are that way.
Sucked in, baby.
See, Joe's just the opposite. I thought I was going to like him, and then...
Dude, what happened?
Joe Rogan is here from News Radio. We're going to take
a buck for you and everything.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'll get some more plugs in. We're going to take a 10-second break, and we'll be back with more Loveline.
This is Loveline on
radio
station.
Illegal broadcasters.
92.1 KFMA, Green Valley, Tucson.
It is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Joe Rogan is our guest tonight from News Radio. Tuesday nights, 8:30, NBC on its 4.5 triumphant season. Irvine Improv is where you can find Joe as well, doing his stand-up. A lot of people just know him from the show, but News Radio, but they don't know he's a fantastic stand-up comedian, and well, as one of our callers attested to earlier in the evening. Wednesday through possibly this Sunday at the Irvine
I just don't remember.
Improv. Now, when we left off, we're speaking to Erica. Erica's 18. She's dating a 28-year-old guy. She has a really fast orgasm. Her dad left to join the PGA when she was 3. She never knew the guy. Mom says she dumped him only because he golfed too much. Drew assumed, now everyone listen carefully, that he was an alcoholic. She says it's really because he golfed too much, but then magically married another guy who was an alcoholic. Any real wholesale dysfunction other than just basically being a single-parent family.
Drew breaks my, he likes to break my fantasy.
Drew went a little,
adventurous women out
Drew
there.
went a little bit deeper with it, and I even went with some sexual abuse. Now, she had a little experience at 17 in the parking lot, but it wasn't sexual abuse, but she don't like her stepdad, and I just want to make sure.
Stepdad kicked her around a little bit.
Hey, Erica?
Yeah?
What did stepdad do to make you think he was an a-hole?
When I was really young, they fought a lot, like really bad. Like my mother would hide in my room, and she would hide behind me.
Oh, that's nice.
When he would come in because they both drank.
And your mom's dad must have been a raging alcoholic.
He wasn't raging. In fact,
but he was an alcoholic.
Is your mom an alcoholic?
Yeah.
No, mom is well, maybe she could be.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she could be.
Oh.
But mom is her overriding behavior is that of a profound.
But we
codependent.
assume that she got it for some reason from the dad, and here she just says that her mom's an alcoholic.
Well, but she's acting out stuff about Dad right now. I mean, that's what we're hearing about.
Stepdad never laid a hand on you?
No, one time he picked up my mother by the throat off the ground.
Well, that's how you lift women, like puppies.
That's bad technique. That is bad technique.
Only in your mouth.
Under the armpits with a closed grip.
That's right. Full Nelson.
He was a wrestler.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's good. Went from a golfer to a wrestler. You know what? These guys with the clubs aren't violent enough.
Was he physically rough with you, too?
No, he actually often cries to me that I don't treat him like a real father and that kind of baby stuff.
What a prick.
No, never came at you sexually, though.
Well, he's made comments.
Ooh, I just got a buck, maybe two back.
Maybe.
Let's redistribute the money.
All right, Erica, listen to me, sweetheart. You got a lot more going on than you originally called in with, right?
I know, but the point is, my question is...
What comments has he made?
Your breasts are getting bigger than your mother's, ha ha ha, and you have really nice legs and things like that.
Like creepy? Makes you feel creepy?
Yeah.
Anytime an alcoholic wrestler starts in with the sweet talk, the sugar talk, it comes across as creepy.
It depends. Is he trying to make weight? Because that's when you get weirded out.
Yeah, he wasn't sweating a lot.
You're draining yourself, and you're not responsible for your own actions.
I'm guessing the guy was in collegiate style.
What is your question?
Okay. I orgasm within 30 seconds.
Good girl.
But the problem is, then afterward, I'm really tired, and I just want to lay down, and my boyfriend, has to keep going because he's not done yet, and I just kind of lay there because I'm really tired. And I'm wondering if there's any way I can, draw it out. I mean, aside from him just not touching.
Well, how about our advice that we give for guys?
Thinking about something else?
No, just make yourself go before you go.
Induce an orgasm via masturbation an hour or two before you have sex and slow down the process.
But I don't like to masturbate.
Yeah. Is this boyfriend of yours an alcoholic?
This would be a duty.
No, he's not.
Would you shut up, Drew? No, he's not? What's he into?
Methamphetamine.
Oh,
good
you go.
Kid.
Well, I dodged a bullet for a second. I thought the guy drank beer.
Wow.
Hey, Erica, come on, baby. You're a mess. It's a mess. Do you understand? Please.
I understand that.
Is he in a really bad band, too?
No, but he actually does Slayer and Pantera.
Those are excellent bands. He's an idiot.
Erica, listen to me. Your quick orgasm is the least of your worries. Do you understand?
Yes, but it's a very important part of my life.
I don't care about it.
Wait, stop. Here's the reason he doesn't orgasm as quickly as
I don't
you
even
do.
want to dignify with
He's
an
strung out
answer.
on speed. That suppresses the orgasmic function in the male.
Sure.
Get him. It's his responsibility to get off speed, not yours to delay the orgasm.
Erica, do not get pregnant. Do you hear me?
I am.
Oh my God.
Erica, how far along
This
are
started
you?
off so fun.
I told you.
I don't know how far along I am.
You don't know how long?
Do you know who the father is?
Excuse me, I'm not cheating.
What do you take her for? Please,
Really,
True,
come
the
on,
temerity.
she's a good kid.
Erica, can you have an abortion?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay, do that, would you please?
Yes.
And don't get pregnant again?
I'm not planning on it.
And break up with this guy and get into Coda and Al-Anon and Alateen.
And go to college somewhere away from your house.
Okay. All right, listen. Geez, I think I'm getting $2 here because the stepdad.
All right, so that's what I was going to say. So give Joe his $1 back. You owe him.
I don't think I get anything.
And then I get mine back.
The only thing I called was that it was a broken home.
Yeah, but I owe you the $1 anyway.
All right.
Wow. See, Erica sounded...
So I lost $1.
Now, my instinct was to gamble on her almost immediately, but she sounded sort of together at the beginning, remember?
That whole methamphetamines and the dad who cries and checks out her ass. Wow. That went south fast.
Yeah, we can get
I like to think that they're just adventurous girls.
I know. It took me about a year of working on Adam for him to come to grips with the reality that there's no such thing.
Oh, shut up, Drew. I gave you that notion, you
my
jackass.
girlfriend
What?
is the
Shut
last of
Drew's
them.
What the hell are you talking about?
Shut Drew's mic.
He's not going to. God bless you, Mike. What do you mean?
There's adventurous women out there.
There are not.
I believe there are.
There are, but not without some luggage.
What's
They're
that?
Bobcat Goldthwait playing?
enthused.
What was that noise?
Did I just make a lot of noise?
You made a Bobcat
Did I?
noise.
No. All
right, let me say this,
I got
Drew,
excited.
What?
With our argument about adventuresome girls. There are girls who perform acts of adventure.
Yes.
And that does not mean they're the subject of abuse or rape or that the family had melted
Once
down.
in a while, between 18 and 22, most women will do some
They'll get out, have a one-night stand, meet a guy at a bar, whatever.
Right. That's true.
It's
Absolutely.
They drink too
They
many
will
wine
not,
doesn't mean they're abused.
They will
No.
but they will not
do
They will not
something
go outside the box. They will not meet somebody in a car in an alley and they've never met before. And
Right.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe on a whim. Maybe they wouldn't normally, but they had a couple of cocktails and it just presented itself and they went with it. No?
Listen,
No?
Drew,
How can you
Joe
make a
is
blanket
right.
statement like that?
No.
Now Joe just made a Dino type sound from the
Dude, I feel very criticized here.
No. Listen,
happy.
Joe, you're right. If a woman is with her mates, her other sorority sisters or something, and they really tie one on,
See, that's bad because then they start freaking and pumping estrogen into each other.
she
and the
can do
pheromones
something.
And,
Yes,
yeah, that can happen.
but it
Go
will.
into a
But
frenzy.
here's the deal, Drew. Yes, there is outside of the box. Yes, meeting.
What is this box that you speak of?
That's a euphemism for the vagina. No, the box is. Here's the box.
The box.
Going to a frat party, getting a little bit wasted, and going up to the one of the frat guys' room and getting it on with them is not outside the box.
So the box is common
Sort
behavior.
of normal, age appropriate, whatever.
Things that you've heard other people did,
Right.
and you, what the hell? I
Talking
might
to
as
a
well
guy
try.
over a computer when you're a virgin, going to a parking lot, meeting him for the first time and jumping on him is just a little bit south
Tell
of the
you
box.
something. That AOL is a very strange thing. That meeting people in the chat rooms and all that. That's a very bizarre thing.
Yes.
So I think we're
A lot of people are involved in that.
Brian,
Yeah.
you're 19.
Yeah.
All right, you're in the box. What's going on?
No, nothing much. Just wanted to say that I love the show.
Thanks.
And, yeah, I have a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
This is going to sound really weird, but my girlfriend, the last time that I went down, she talked to me afterwards, and she said that in her daily secretions there's something that else that's coming out that she's not used to seeing.
Her daily secretions.
Bridge work.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how she described it, you know what I mean?
It really sounds like some sort of religious talk show.
Her daily affirmations.
Yeah, daily secretions.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to call it, man. I mean, whatever.
Stuart Smalley.
But yeah, and it's, I mean, it's concerning me. I don't know. She's not like,
what is it that's coming out?
it looks like snot. I'm serious.
Yeah, but that's
some mucus.
Yeah, it's mucus.
Yeah, but I don't know. She's never seen it before, and
how long
she was kind of concerned about it.
How long have you been sexually active?
Probably about a month and a half.
And have you been using protection?
Well, we haven't had need to use protection.
Yeah,
we've only had oral sex with each other, so.
Really?
Yeah.
And you have no herpes or infections, or you've not been with anybody else? Probably.
No, she's my first sexual experience.
She's not
our first sexual experience.
Not changed medication, been put on the birth control pill, anything like that.
Not that I know of. No.
How come you just having oral sex?
I kind of want to save intercourse for marriage.
Whoa. Yeah, that's exactly what God had in mind. You with a big mouth, big fur burger shoved in your mouth. That's exactly what the Lord was picturing.
It has less to do with the Lord and more to do with my own beliefs. But.
All right.
What beliefs are these?
Just
say when the Lord has.
I don't know, my own personal moral code, man. I mean.
All right.
So you think that intercourse should only be for procreation or only be for married couples?
I don't know. I just think that intercourse is more special, and I think I should save it for someone a little bit more special. And when I think of someone special, the person that jumps to mind is my future wife.
Okay, but this isn't your future wife.
I don't know. I can't say.
Some chick you're eating out.
No, she's my current girlfriend.
Well, you're doing a good job. You're shaking something loose.
Yeah, and women, when they become sexually active, sometimes will get changes in their secretions and bleed more readily, or changes in their cycling. So nothing about what you're describing alarms me. But as she's becoming sexually active, it's important that she get regular pap smears, and so this will be an opportunity to sort of compel her to go do that.
You know, it's funny, but I really think that at least 95% of this country's sort of spirituality / moral or whatever ethic or code that people have, it's always semi-retarded.
arbitrary.
At least
it's
in
arbitrary.
its practice.
Yeah,
No, I'm going further than arbitrary. I'm going
that's
into
very retarded.
I'm going into retarded
and going down on your girlfriend, but no, intercourse is bad.
It's arbitrary. Yeah.
It's very bizarre how you make that distinction. That penetration is bad. Like, how is that bad? But blowjobs are okay.
Well, it's not arbitrary though. It's sort of self-serving.
I guess.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But you only realize how arbitrary it is by virtue of having an historical perspective. These kids don't have a historical perspective. From when we were growing up, that was like, whoa, I was like deviant.
Very taboo.
It came much later. Very intimate.
Yeah, you only went down on someone when your penis didn't work. Like you did too much coke or something. I may be a product of the 80s, but...
I don't know. I've never done it.
Come on, you've been on the road. You know what I'm talking about. Well, not coke. Well, let's say you had a few too many beers at the club manager after the show.
I'm trying to keep myself out of that situation.
Okay. Well, you don't like to perform oral sex, but...
That's not the case.
Here's
to keep myself out of the non-performing situation.
Here's the deal, which I find interesting. Like, we'll talk to people, I go, well, I was shooting speed, and there was a gangbang. I was like pulling this train of guys. Anyway, now I'm pregnant. And you go, well, why don't you do the right thing, give the kid up for adoption? I don't believe in adoption.
That's morally wrong.
Yeah, it's morally wrong.
Gangbang is okay. It's in the Quran.
Right. So it's just some sort of retarded code that they go by.
That was a good one, though. The saving yourself. That's something special. Like your wife, your future wife's really going to appreciate the fact you've gone down on 150 women.
Right.
But, you've never had intercourse.
You got a big herpes beard, but don't worry, the penis is in great shape.
Got genital warts on your upper lip, but...
That's going to be the name of my punk band, Herpes Beard. Wouldn't that be a good name? Jeff?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're 21.
Hey, what's up, guys? I love the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Everyone keeps saying that the show is better with Dr. Drew, but...
Nobody says that. Drew says that.
It's only half the show when you're not on there.
That's right.
Are you from Chicago, dude?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
All right, well, here's my question. My girlfriend just got on the pill, and she said it's only 99% effective, and I said that's because 1% of women just don't take it right.
The data goes usually around 99.6, 99.7% effective.
When taken correctly. And is the 4%, does that account for people not taking it correctly?
No,
okay.
I don't believe so.
It counts for liars.
So, Jeff?
Yeah.
You're all right. I mean, have her take the pill and do it right.
Yeah, right. Well, hey.
Okay.
Why? What's the matter?
Nah, because I just want to know if it was 100% because she still wants to use condoms, too.
No, it's the most effective contraception you can use at your age.
Okay.
The pill, all right?
Hey, Jeff?
Yeah.
Tell her if she's taking the pill correctly and she gets pregnant, it was the son of Jesus. Would be God's grandson, I guess.
God speaking.
Right. I mean, keep that kid. That kid's going to be president. And, yeah, he was obviously from Chicago. Actually, the thing that's cool about this show is he's not from Chicago. He's in Chicago.
Yeah.
We're so used to...
You sound like one of the Munchkins or something.
Who?
The way he spoke.
Yeah. You don't... You can really get it. Where you really get it is Minnesota. Is that the one you can hear?
A bit.
Yeah, it's sort of Canadian, yeah. Tom.
Oh, hi.
Hey, you're 27. You're on with Joe Rogan from News Radio.
Hi there. Hi, Dr. Drew. Hi, Adam.
Hey.
I love your show.
Thanks.
I listen all the time. And I had a quick comment and also a question. My comment was about, you talk a lot on the show about genetics in relation to addiction and behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
And my comment was just quickly that, certainly, genetics may predispose individuals to disease, and like you talk about addiction a lot, but the degree to which other personality traits are heritable is really not known. One of the things you guys talked about before was, racism and things that are acquired characteristics of people's personalities.
Well, that was Joe's theory.
Actually something I read in Time magazine, was that there are certain theories that racism and other learned behavior characteristics can be passed on through genetics.
Yeah, I just the comment is that it's still very controversial.
Yes,
I know that Dr. Drew
very.
says that a lot. I just think...
No, I say it as it pertains to addiction, because of the many, I've treated now thousands upon thousands of addicts. I can think of two where I couldn't see a clear genetic link.
Mm-hmm.
And There it is.
The Gabor sisters.
Now your question is,
Drew, can you let me squeeze in a joke every once in a while? Goddamn!
Would you let me finish my point before you squeeze in a teeny joke?
In a joke there.
Let's go back to New York.
Sharpies.
But listen, your point is it the personality characteristics that are passed that
it made me throw my pad?
And I can tell you that if you do personality testing these addicts, personalities are all over the map. Okay, although there tends to be a predominance of narcissistic, borderline types of phenomenon that tend to fade when people are in their recovery.
All right, I've had enough of Drew. All right, Tom, I had enough of you too.
I have one more question.
All right, it better be good.
Oh, it's a very good question. This is something that I haven't heard you talk about very much on the show, and also it relates to the question of a previous caller, which is how long should a man be able to have intercourse before finishing? What's the average time it should take for this?
It's in our book, isn't it?
6 hours.
12 seconds.
I'm close then.
Somewhere in the middle.
Geez, I don't know, but I would say, I mean, actually from when the penis goes in to when it goes off and in front of the refrigerator, I would say, I don't know, 18 minutes or something like that. Is that of actual pump time? What would you say? I mean, because, you know...
You got to have your average ones, and you got to have your long sessions. Well, it depends on the man.
I mean, listen, we'd all like to say an hour, but we know when we're actually talking about insertion and exertion...
I think we would hear a lot more complaints from women having difficulty maintaining lubrication, that kind of thing, if it were 20-minute plus average.
Right.
We get none of those complaints.
Yeah.
So it means to me around 10.
What's the average, or what should the average?
Because after 10 minutes, women typically...
lubrication is maintaining excitement, too.
After 10 minutes, women will start to have stuff go on if that's a continuous issue.
Yeah, but that's not all women. Some women can stay lubricated no matter what.
That's absolutely true.
You got to get a good one. That's what I'm trying to say. Get yourself a good woman with good genetics.
All right. Chantelli?
Chantel, yeah.
Chantel, yeah. You're
Hi,
19.
how are you guys?
What's going on there?
Well, actually, first of all, I had a child when I was 14, and I'm still with the father. We're married now.
Sure.
And the question I had was, see, my mom, she was an alcoholic, and she's been married 6 times. And the problem that I'm having is I can't stop feeling like my marriage isn't going to work. I've seen so many fall apart, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a problem? You know, am I destined to fail just because we got married at a young age, or?
Regardless of the mother who's married a million times, how old were you when you were married?
We were 17. Or I was 17, he was 19.
That by itself is a rather profound burden for a marriage to carry.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how it goes in this modern day, but I hear about half the marriages fail, and I'm guessing the average marital age is, I don't know, 24 or something like that. And I'm guessing the closer you get to 15,
much worse.
It must drop way off. I mean, I'm guessing if you're married at 16 or 17, it's probably around 85% or something. Does that mean you ain't in the 15%? Absolutely. No, maybe you are in the 15%. I don't know.
Now you add to that the fact that mom's been married 40 times and whatever. You have no model for intimacy.
Listen,
you don't achieve intimacy.
If I was making odds in Vegas, you'd be going off about 15, 16 to 1.
Yeah.
Pro divorce.
I mean, I try and run my life the exact opposite of the way my mother ran her life, you know.
That's good.
If you'd done that, you would have gotten married at 30.
You wouldn't have gotten pregnant at 14.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know.
Except for that part.
That was like a bad sign for me. I felt like I was, you know, following in her footsteps.
Right.
But,
you're the exact opposite of her, except for the time that you follow in her footsteps. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, that scares me. How do I?
Are you happy with the guy you're with right now?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you guys get along great? No problem?
Yeah, we're in the military, and we moved far away from home.
All right, hold on a second.
What makes you think that it's going to change?
Hold on a second.
Recreation.
Hold on. We got to do a little Loveline recreation
What's
here.
a recreation?
You're going to find out as soon as Drew screws it up. I'll play the caller.
I'm not sure if I can do it. Let's try.
So anyway, basically, whatever my mother does, I've done the opposite. I've looked at her life and gone the opposite direction, tried to conduct myself in a totally different way.
What about the baby at 14?
Well, there was a time when I was following in her footsteps. Oh, okay. All right.
You guys are mean.
We are, but it's still... It's kind of bizarre that in her last breath she was saying whatever her mom does, she does the opposite.
She said she tries to conduct her life like that.
Except for the part where she was following in her footsteps.
She made a mistake. She decided to keep the kid. I'm with her, babe.
All right, stop
She's
kissing
a
up.
good kid. I like her.
Hey.
She's an adventuresome girl.
Chantel?
Uh-huh.
All right, baby. So here's the real question. It seems to me that if you felt really strongly about your man and the bond and the love and all that, this wouldn't be a question. And it seems like it's coming into question, not because of your mom's history, but because of some feelings that maybe you're having about your husband.
Well, no, I mean, we've been together for 7 years. And, you know, ever since I was...
Answer my question.
We'll do another enactment if you're not careful, Chantel.
No, no, I mean, I'm happy with him.
Okay.
But it's hard, you know, when you see... I mean, my childhood and everything, I mean, I basically had to grow up faster than, you know, the average person did.
Yeah.
So by the time I was 14, I didn't really think like a 14-year-old, and that's how I got in the situation that I did.
No, listen, I understand all that. I'm just saying, if you searched your soul and realized that you love your husband more than life itself, these questions wouldn't keep arising. Your mom would be damned. But listen, my mom... You know, she got welfare when I was a kid. She works 20 hours a week. I look nothing like her. I don't keep thinking, my God, my career's going to fall apart because my mom's an introvert.
Yeah.
My mom is the least funny person I've ever met in my life, but I never think to myself, maybe I'm going to stop being funny because my mom isn't funny. I think I'm funny, so therefore I don't question it, and I move ahead, and I can say the same thing for the rest of my family. I don't plan on getting a divorce because my parents got divorced. I just don't plan on getting married. But the point...
Yeah, but you're not that young. She's young and impressionable, and she's looking to you for guidance.
Joe's really the champion of the people.
I mean, when I heard you guys say that, you know, the 19-year-old, they want to get married and all that, when I heard you say that, basically I'm thinking, is it possible? You know, is it...
Anything is possible. Is it probable? No.
You have a relevant point, Chantel, but all I'm saying is you love your man, you guys are together, you have a child, you're both gainfully employed by the federal government. I think you should just keep your job, do not look back.
Don't dwell
worship
on the
your man. Don't
either.
Dwell on it.
If you
and
dwell
move ahead.
on it, it can manifest itself. I mean,
right.
That's what I'm saying. Is I don't want it to.
So force yourself to think something positive about it every day and talk to him
about it.
There
are some very early painful experiences that you're looking to reenact. You've got to find a way to get in touch with what those fears are, what that pain is, so you don't bring it to bear on your present relationship. You got me?
Yeah. See,
okay.
What just happened was my mom just had her 8th child about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wait till I'm in power.
And
wait till I'm in power.
That kind of screwed me up for a little while.
I will sanitize her.
I
will sterilize and then I will sanitize her for my protection.
You need to detach from
but
mom.
Wait a minute.
And realize what she really is.
Beautiful creations from
Chantel's
God.
mom is a very disturbed person, and you need to recognize what she is, Chantel, and accept that. Deal with that pain and not act it out in your marriage.
Mike's getting pissed.
Let's go.
Mike wants to go to commercial. He doesn't care if she commits suicide, has another kid. We'll be back.
This is Loveline.
Loveline will be right back.
Loveline on 92.1 KFMA.
Hey, this is Carrot Top, and even losers like me listen to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Turn on your radio, they'll give you a big hug. It's Loveline, get it?
Ow! Veins filled with hate.
Anyone who knows Joe Rogan's humor knows that Carrot Top is a pretty serious influence in his career.
Yeah,
Joe
baby.
Rogan from News Radio. Tuesday nights, 8:30 on NBC.
Feel it. It's coming out right now. Through my pores.
I haven't heard a whole lot from Carrot Top since the chairman of the board.
Thank God. Him and Jenny McCarthy should go off on an island together.
Oh, wait a minute. She is such a bona fide talent.
Put a fork in it, baby. It's all over for the Rover.
Have you guys had this conversation?
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
I
have hate.
I laughed my ass off
freely
on more than one occasion on this show. What network was there?
NBC, baby.
NBC gave her like 22 episodes or
good
something.
Call, good move.
Paid for it.
Excellent. Cover of Rolling Stone. God bless. I canceled my subscription. But I did. After that, I said, okay, something's wrong. When you've never done anything and you're on the cover of Rolling Stone, I gotta go.
Right.
I gotta let it go. Just infuriates me how much crap pollutes our culture, and how much stuff like that just gets through with nobody checking it. You know, give someone a show who's never done anything. Well, what are you doing? And then it's terrible. Oh, gee, that's a shocker.
Right. But Joe, here's my take on this, and you tell me whether you're with this or not.
Okay, go ahead.
It's easy and convenient to focus it all toward Jenny McCarthy or all toward Pam Anderson or all toward Carrot Top or whoever.
I love Pam Anderson.
Okay, well, let's just stay on the same page for a second.
I think you're way out of line.
Let's just use. I know you're right. She's a bona fide talent. Let's stick with Jenny McCarthy.
She is.
Let's stick with bona fide maybe. I don't know about the talent part.
Bona fide.
But let's stick with Jenny McCarthy here. My anger. Is more geared toward the suits, the executives, who are giving people like this 22-episode deal.
Well, you know what? It's a slow snowball effect of progression. This is the problem. Somewhere along the line, she got attention, and then the attention built into people. Oh, who are they paying attention to? Why are they paying attention to her? And then the people say, well, they're paying attention to her. Something must be good. And then the people who are paying attention to the people who are paying attention are saying, well, we got to get it before somebody else gets it.
Mimetic desire. It's
a snowball.
It's what causes people to pay a lot of money for tulips.
Exactly. It's 75. 100.
Yeah.
It's a bidding process.
It's why last year there was Cabbage Patch, and then the next year there's Beanie Babies, and then there's Furbies.
It's a freak show. But here's the bottom line.
But don't you blame
there's really funny, talented women who don't get shows, and people look at these really funny, talented women, and they are always going to think, they're always going to compare them to other so-called comedians like her and say, wow, women just aren't funny. There's a lot of funny women out there.
Well, there's some truth to that. But not good-looking women. And listen.
That's not true.
I don't blame Jenny McCarthy. I blame the suits.
Okay.
Because
you're correct.
I would take the deal, too, if someone offered me 22 episodes.
Okay, you're correct. You know, you're right. But if you pump it in my face and it smells, I'm going to tell you it smells. You know, and if I'm smelling it, it's right there. I just got to go, why is that here? You know, I'm not making any decisions, but it's right there. I got to go, why is that here? I don't have any hate for her. I don't know her.
Some jackass from NBC gave her 22 episodes.
Yeah, and he is not working for NBC anymore.
I sure hope not, but the beauty is he's...
Yes, it's Warren
He's over it.
I thought he was a great guy.
He's somewhere else making millions of dollars.
Sure, he's got plenty of money.
But I would label him a retard and kick him out and not hire
maybe
him.
It wasn't entirely... Okay, that was a bad statement on my part because I have no idea who the real deal was, who really, sold the deal. But I know he was the president of NBC, or the head of programming, or whatever the hell they are.
Oh, I got to get me one of them development deals.
Get a deal, dude. You just got to get one. Get a meeting.
Kelly. I got to take a meeting and get a deal.
You and Carrot Top.
Kelly, you're a
two-man thing.
You're 18.
Just make sure he brings his bag of crap with him. Without it, he's lost.
What's going on? Don't you make fun of the top.
Dude, don't start me up.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I had, since I was 12, I've had, these fantasies about getting raped and stuff. And I was just wondering if it's, if it's a good idea to, ask my boyfriend to act them out with me.
Where do you think those came from?
I don't know.
Give us, if you had to guess, where do you think they come from?
Well, I was never, sexually abused, so.
What about physically?
Well, yeah, but it wasn't it was just my parents spanked me because, I was being bad and stuff. But it wasn't
you ever read that new detective magazine?
No.
You know those magazines where it shows a guy with a bandana around his mouth and he's about to slash a chick's bra off with a stiletto? Remember those magazines?
Yeah,
I don't know if they have them anymore.
Yeah.
Like true detective stories, but they're all sort of about guys breaking into houses and raping women, or at least the cover of every magazine was. Do those exist anymore?
I don't know.
Where are you going with this?
It's kind of bizarre and perverted. Well, I'm saying maybe she saw, maybe she watched too many bad cable shows, or maybe she saw.
You sound like Joe.
No, I'm giving her an out.
Oh, come on.
I'm just giving you an out.
Is that what I do? I give everybody an out?
Joe, please.
Dude, am I giving everyone an out? Is that what?
So far.
True. Do you know how insulting that sounds? Now you sound like Joe.
There's some adventuresome women out there. That's all. That's my platform.
Joe, you got the last one. That's where we'll leave it.
Kelly, these kinds of fantasies come from unhealthy places. And there's nothing specifically wrong with play acting something like that out, but it has a fetishistic quality to it, where it is kind of a reenactment of something that's happened to you.
But Drew, wouldn't you agree? I hate to cut you off, but God knows
sure
I
you
have
do.
to. Yeah, it pains me. But wouldn't you agree that it's where the line is drawn? There's a lot of women that have that sort of, fantasy of a little rough trade. little spank, little hair tugging, and that doesn't mean that they were victimized or anything like that. But I think what Kelly's saying is she's really talking about acting something out, and she needs to look into that. Okay, Tara.
The sex becomes for some people an acting out of death and resurrection, good child, bad child, good parent, bad parent, and that's when it becomes unhealthy.
That rape thing is very, there's a lot of women that have that.
Yes, there is.
But there's a lot of women that are abused, like 40% of the country. So.
And I was dating a girl and she asked me to rape her. And I'm like, well, how would I know if I'm really raping you or if I'm doing what you want me to do? That's crazy. And any guy that can do that, they can get aroused in the middle of a violent, there's a mess going on out there. There's a lot of other jazz going on below. It's not a sex thing. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, that's kind of a catch-22. If you ask to be raped, you're not being raped.
Yeah, well, it was very, I got out of there quick. It was really creepy.
I'm sure he has sex first. Tara.
I had a question. I was just wondering how much a D breast would weigh.
Why?
I have a kind of like a bet going with my boyfriend.
7 pounds.
7 pounds?
No,
I would go with
too
7.
big. Look, a kid
Silicone,
is 7 pounds.
Saline, 5.5.
5.5?
No, I don't know.
Don't listen to Joe.
No, you know what? I can tell you this for a fact, actually, because there was a case where a woman with gigantic breasts hit this guy in the head at a strip club, and he sued. And he sued because he said that she had, it was Daisy Big Cups or whatever the hell her name was.
Right.
And she sued, and they actually, in court, weighed her breasts, and they were enormous breasts, and they were 2.5 pounds each. So it's not much.
Yeah, the guy. Could you imagine this poor guy who's?
Oh yeah, it was just it was a frivolous lawsuit.
You imagine the attorney though taking like, Your Honor,
Pandora Peaks, is that it?
Could be. Yes, she is one. In this sack is 3.7 ounces of russet potatoes. I'm going to swing this on this pendulum device that will simulate a woman's torso.
I'm almost positive it was 2.5 pounds each.
Like a crash test dummy sitting in a folding chair. Now, that's not real alcohol in the glass that the dummy is holding, Your Honor. That is only Martinelli's. But I want to. It's for the point of simulation here.
Well, they actually weighed it on a scale in the courtroom.
Her breast.
Yeah. Or not in the courtroom, I'm sure. They did.
Let me find out what Tara's got up.
Safe room.
Tara?
Yeah.
How big are your breasts?
I'm D.
You're D. And
why don't you weigh them?
Well, because they're attached to you. How are you going to find out?
Get a drug scale. One of those drug scales that they have at any pharmacy or something like that.
Yeah. No, here's what you do, Tara.
Yeah.
Stand on the scale naked, okay? And then get your boyfriend to get a clipboard, and then I'll come over and hold your breasts up, and we'll do the math. I will take all the pressure off the scale by holding your breasts aloft.
But we have to do it at least 20 times and then get a balance.
Right.
We have to do it 20 times and then you get the average.
All right.
Is that cool?
Thanks, sir.
Leave your address with the guy on the phone.
Tara, just do that. I'm serious. Stand on the scale, or just Drew. Couldn't you do a water displacement type test?
And estimate that to be basically the weight of water. Yeah.
Well, no, I think you'd have to figure out what flesh weighs to water or something like that.
Yeah, but what if she has really big nipples? That's going to throw off the curve, right?
Yeah, Joe's got a point.
Would, right?
Joe, you should really be, doing a sitcom is sort of a waste of your talent. You should really be in the lab.
I've often said that.
All right, we're going to take a break. Joe Rogan's here from News Radio, and we'll be back after this.
Programming glitch. Can we talk here for a second?
They are treading water in a sea of retarded sexuality.
Loveline. Exclusively on Tucson's New Rock. 92.1 KFMA.
Hey, this is Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue.
And this is Donna Yerrico from Baywatch. And you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla
and Dr. Drew.
Ooh.
That was my all-time. I want that on my outgoing message because I love it when a woman gets so loaded she can't pronounce her own name.
That is the best. Slurring through her own name.
Well, it is 3 syllables.
This is Yerrico.
This is Donna.
Donna Yerrico from
Baywatch. Now, let me say this about Donna before we dig into her. She did have a couple glasses of red wine that night. And when I did run into her in the parking lot here, because she was with the guys, the Motley Cruers, when they came back a year later.
Good fellas.
First thing she said to me was, I am sober. And I went, oh, that's good. You're funnier when you're drunk, but she's real nice. She just, had a couple glasses of red wine, and,
Stanley Erico from Baywatch.
What a good kid.
All right.
I love girls like that.
Joe Rogan is here from News Radio.
Don't you ever say anything bad about Pam.
Oh, no, I never
Dude,
have.
don't. Just don't go there.
She's a wonderful... She's a role model is what she is. Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, you, Joe. Yeah, you're 28. What's going on?
I take care of my mom because she's on a bunch of medication. She's mentally ill. And she takes a bunch of different medicines, and Medi-Cal won't cover Klonopin anymore.
Oh, boy.
I was just wondering if Drew knew anything compatible with Klonopin that might be covered.
Well, I mean...
What do you use Klonopin for, Drew?
Klonopin is a benzodiazepine like Valium. It's a longer acting, not quite as addictive. It's very sedating. So you'd be...
What do you use it for?
All kinds of things. I mean, seizure disorders, anxiety disorders, impulsivity problems, sleep problems.
But if she had a seizure disorder...
No, this is not seizure. This Klonopin.
They would give it to her.
She probably is very agitated and anxious, and it would mean going to something like Valium or Ativan, because I think those are covered by Medi-Cal. But you can't do it without talking to a psychiatrist. And Klonopin really is a different kind of medicine, and they may want to change directions altogether if she has no ability to access that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Because when she's off of it, she gets real wacky.
Well, there's a withdrawal from it. How much was she taking?
I think she takes 2 a day.
2 1 milligrams?
Oh, gosh, I'm not really...
Is it orange or blue?
They're orange, I'm pretty sure.
I think the oranges are the halves.
Joe, what's up that you got stuck taking care of Mama?
Well, both my brothers moved away, and I'm the one here, and she can't take care of herself. She can't go around crowds. She can't be around people.
Are you the younger brother?
I'm the middle brother, actually.
Do you have a lot of resentment for your other brothers?
Not really, but I'm hoping they'll step up pretty soon and let me get on with mine.
Are you living at home?
Well, she's living with me.
Oh, wow. That's rough. I got to tell you, you're 28, and it's like, Joe, you masturbating in there? Oh, my God. Let me tell you something. If my parents lose it and need taken care of, I'm going down to the masonry place. I'm going to get a day laborer. Some guy, like, $7 an hour, just drop
You
off.
want to hear a nightmare story? My grandmother had an aneurysm 10 years ago. They gave her 3 months, tops, right? She collapsed in the backyard. They didn't find her for hours. She's gone, right? Totally paralyzed, has no idea where she is, completely non-functional. She won't die. 6 years later, they take out one of her lungs. They're like, well, this has got to do it. She's very, very little time. 4 years later, still going. My grandfather's been taking care of her every day for 10 years. He's an old Sicilian, won't put her in a nursing home, won't do anything. He's been just feeding her baby food every day for 10 years. It's unbelievable. Now he's on a pacemaker. He's kicking in. He's going to die before her. They can't believe she's still alive, and she won't die. It's unbelievable.
I know it sounds a little crass what Joe's saying, but it's true. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
It's unreal. She's not even there anymore.
Guys, it's not that she won't die. It's that
they're keeping her alive.
Right. We as physicians are required to do what the families ask us to do, no matter how ridiculous.
Well, Joe's asked to have her second lung removed on many occasions. But
I mean, we can sometimes risk our own rear ends by stepping in on behalf of a patient. But when those gray areas where it's not clear what the patient's wishes were and the family, they're very anxious and wants everything done, you actually end up taking the dying process from being 2 weeks to being about 12 years.
It's really horrifying, and it's really torture because, her quality of life is nil. There's nothing. I mean, she literally has no idea where she is. She can't communicate at all anymore. No words, just grunts and noises.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, she's gone. At least a few years ago, she used to say words every now and then. But like as of 4 years ago, as of probably the lung operation, that's it, dude. It's over.
You know what I love, too? I love when these overzealous crackpots, it always comes up whenever the Kevorkian topic comes in. They go, God. Who are you to decide how her quality of life is? It's like, hold on. She craps in her pants. She watches UPN.
She's in constant pain. She's got hot lava
She can't
flowing through her
communicate.
veins.
I think it's safe to say that quality of life, she's not taking a bike tour through Paris. Okay.
The amazing thing is they have these testimonials where these people, they go on videotape talking about the tremendous pain constantly they're in. They're totally incapacitated. They can't live. They're not. This is why live if you're in hell? What kind of life is that?
I have no idea, but I know the people that protest too much are either religious zealots or freaked out of death themselves, and doing some sort of thing where they're channeling their fears about
even
death
the religious
onto...
zealots never protest war. You never hear any religious zealots, any of these crazy Christians blocking, abortion clinics, telling us to stop bombing Iraq.
No,
it's unbelievable.
Well, what are the Crusades?
It's amazing. It really is amazing. It's amazing where people draw lines.
Let me tell you, I think it's up to everyone in their family. You want to go, you can go. As a matter of fact, I don't even think it's up to you. I'll put it to a vote with the family.
Oh, absolutely. It's not up to
but the families are the ones that are the least able to let it happen.
My grandfather's like, that's my wife. I'll take care of her.
He'll never let it happen.
Nobody's going to do nothing to my wife.
That's
and he gives her the pills every day.
I'm sure he threatens the doctors when they try to even talk to him about it.
I don't think they try to talk to him. He doesn't have any money. He lives in Newark, New Jersey. I'm sure it's all, Medicare.
But don't you think in some way, just like I suspect, unfortunately, with our last caller, Joe, and I hate to be so damn cynical, there's something in it for Joe. There's a reason why he's living with his mom.
It's his mom, and nobody else can take care of her. If he sounded like he
throwing
got
his
stuck.
life away, too.
Well, he said he hopes someone's going to step up. He wants to do something else. That dude doesn't want to be stuck there.
Melissa.
Hi.
No suspicions about him. Melissa.
Hello.
Even though it's a noble cause.
Should have bet, dude.
Melissa.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm ahead.
Melissa.
I'm here.
What's going on?
What's going on?
I just got in a huge fight with my mom, and I am feeling so depressed right now.
What was the fight over?
She doesn't think I take enough responsibility. I don't do what she wants when she says.
Do you have a long history of these sorts of fights, or was this an unusual one?
It's gone on forever.
Okay, so this is...
Melissa?
Yeah?
I'm going to wrap this up because we're running out of time here.
Okay.
I know you're in a bad way. You're 18. Your mom may be a pain in the ass. Maybe you're a pain in the ass. Maybe you're both pains in the asses. But you should go off to college. You should get out of the house. Now, maybe you don't have money for college. Maybe you don't have grades for college. Fine. Get a job. Get a friend. Get an apartment. And start your own life. That's it. You're 18. You're not hitting it off with mom. Things are hellish at home. I know it sounds like the end of the world. We're not going to be able to fix it tonight. Don't kill yourself. Don't get hooked on drugs. Don't get pregnant. Just get a job, get a roommate, and get out the house and start your own life. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. Let me just see if we can pile through a few people here who have been on hold for extended periods. Ann?
Yeah.
You're 19, you've been at home for 63 minutes.
Yeah.
You think your hubby's been withdrawing from you because you've gained weight?
Well, it's not like a lot.
How much weight?
10, 15 pounds.
And what do you weigh?
135.
No way. No, that ain't it. How tall are you?
5'2".
Okay, you should put on a few pounds, right?
Yeah.
Big deal. Why are you chalking that up to the weight?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's because I was, a recovering bulimic or whatever.
Oh, okay. So everything's going to be weight. I mean, someone honks their horn on the freeway and you think it's because they think you're fat, right? Not because you cut them off?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So that's your own issue, Ann.
Yeah.
All right, so continue to work on that issue. But please, everybody, don't be so stupid. You know what I mean? It's like when you're high on mushrooms, true. You don't remember being high on mushrooms because you're pretty out of it when you're camping, but I remember. And here's the deal. When I was high on mushrooms, I looked at the walls, and the walls looked like they were breathing. Now, did I think the walls were breathing? No. Why? Because I knew I ate the mushrooms about an hour and a half earlier, and that's why the walls were breathing. You have a weight disorder, or you have an emotional problem with the weight. Now, you're going to think your husband, you're going to think your boss fired you because of the weight problem. But understand, like I understood I ate the mushrooms, you know you got the weight thing.
She's also projecting a bunch of stuff onto her husband. He's withdrawing. He's not perfectly available.
Yeah.
Look, relationships go wax
I
and wane.
dated a girl who had a serious weight problem.
Chaos.
It's hell.
Chaos.
And you know what? Every conversation is based around it. Yeah. And it's brutal.
Right.
Talking about what fat-free muffin they ate for the day, and she handle it, man.
Right.
It's tough, you know?
And then the guilt, and then when they are picking out, they're telling you why they shouldn't be picking out.
You want to help, and you want to do stuff, but
Okay. And you know what's going on, so get some recovery, and we'll be back after this.
Loveline on 92.1 KFMA.
This is Pamela Lee, and you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Oh, we just calmed Joe down. Joe just got done rattling.
Good kid.
All right,
we need to form a triumvirate and take over. Okay?
Yeah. You talking about Pam or are you talking about Joe?
No, Joe, you and me.
No, yeah, we're talking about the legal system.
Joe just rattled Drew's cage, and he got him all worked out. So close to bedtime, too, Drew.
Yeah,
Drew, you're usually half asleep and have one foot out the door by now.
He's used to it. He'll be fine.
All right, we're out of time. Joe Rogan, News Radio, Tuesday nights, 8:30, NBC, and you can find the very funny Joe Rogan at the Irvine Improv Wednesday through possibly Sunday of this week. Go out and support him. He's a good guy. He's a friend of the show, and thanks for coming in, Joe.
Thanks for having me, man. Always fun.
Until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The views expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station.
And are probably not the views of Westwood One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingle.
Now, please listen to this station longer.
40 minutes non-stop.